been a big week for the federal opposition's communications spokesman David Coleman. He finally came out strongly against the appalling misinformation laws, the MAD bill, but only against Labor's version of the bill. He didn't promise there'd be no Liberal Party version later. No matter what party, politicians love the big state. They love big government because they are like all humans. They love power and control. And government will always seek to expand itself, which is why this country is so appallingly over-governed. And that's precisely why we need strong free speech and open public platforms that the government cannot control. Anyway, the other big issue, of course, was Albo's under-16 ban on social media, the man who wants to ban the modern version of television. Of course, the Liberals have come out strongly to attack this one. Just kidding. They've come out in strong, passionate agreement.
Yeah, we do welcome it, Kieran. So back in June, Peter Dutton stood up in Sydney and said that within 100 days of being elected, we would introduce an age limit of 16 for social media.
My favourite guy, Shadow Communication Minister David Coleman, fiercely agreeing with the government there on Sky News this week. So we have no opposition on this except the minor parties. Nobody from the Liberal Party prepared to stand up and say Liberal policy, Liberal values and Liberal ethics demand that parents be the ones to police their kids' behaviour, except in the most extreme situations, not the government. You see, a ban on kids isn't going to work. Kids are very good at getting around things. And also, a ban will retard the education of Australian children. Since YouTube hosts thousands upon thousands of educational videos, as any parent of teenagers knows, it's a goldmine for assignment research. But once again, this has bugger all to do with protecting kids online, and everything to do with big brother control and commercial control. Big government having an excuse to capture the faces of 16-year-olds for digital ID databases. Everybody's going to have to validate their identity online digitally. Australians are the world leaders on this ban. We are the test case for the rest of the world, if you like.
The onus will be on social media platforms to demonstrate they are taking reasonable steps to prevent access. The onus won't be on parents or young people. There will be no penalties for users.
Oh, that's nice. No onus on parents. It's okay, guys. No onus on you as parents. Just onus on the social media platforms. It's another way of putting this would be to say no responsibility or power for parents. All responsibility and power will go to the government. But they'll never word it that way. Anyway, don't worry, because our opposition is fighting it hard.
The government's talked about exemptions if the platforms comply with some as yet unspecified steps to make themselves safer. But you can't make Instagram safe for kids. You can't make Snapchat safe for kids. You can't make TikTok safe for kids. It's impossible. So that's what we want to make sure that there's no exemptions like that. The other thing is we don't want the legislation to just be introduced this year. We want it to pass the Parliament this year, and we will facilitate that, because there are millions of Australians who have been waiting for a long time for this legislation. There are Australian families who are at wit's end dealing with this issue of social media and the impact it's having on kids. So let's get this legislation into the Parliament. Let's vote on it in the House. Let's vote on it in the Senate. Now, we will work constructively with the government in the next couple of weeks, but let's get it done this year.
Okay, so just to be clear, right, that guy there, he's not in Albo's ministry. He's the opposition spokesman for communications. He's Peter Dutton's shadow minister. He's supposed to shadow the minister in Albo's ministry and make sure that the people's will is sort of adequately represented. He's supposed to go, this sounds like a good idea and the right thing to do, but let's just think about it for 2 seconds. Oh no, it's really dumb. It's an intrusion on civil liberties, an intrusion on parental sovereignty over your kids, and basically it goes against all Liberal Party core values. But no. He did a better job selling the thing for Albo than Albo's own communications minister, whose name I can't even remember. With competition like the Liberal Party, who needs friends? It was nice that he wore his communist red-coloured tie so we get the picture of what kind of Liberal he is. David Coleman. Remember that name, folks. Australia will die if we have 2 left-wing major parties. It really will, and we kind of do. Meanwhile, this week, Brisbane became a central hub for discussions on misinformation. as one of the country's most radically left-wing universities, Griffith University, in collaboration with the United Nations, that other great big government control-loving body of mega bureaucrats, hosted the Disinfo the Disinfo Pacific Conference. Policymakers, researchers, journalists and students coming together to address the rising impact of misinformation in the Australia-Pacific region. The two-day event was co-sponsored by the European Union. Interesting. And it featured keynote speeches from people like Melissa Fleming, the United Nations Under-Secretary General for Global Communications. The conference had 3 themes. Can you guess what they were? Yes, the effects of misinformation on democracy, health, and climate. The independent website Mirage News reports that experts shared insights on the dangers that disinformation poses to democracies worldwide, especially in a year when nearly half of the world's nations are holding elections. These discussions addressed how false narratives erode trust in political systems, disrupt public discourse, and influence election outcomes. Again, that all sounds fantastic. The problem is that the solution that these people always have for social problems and misinformation is more government intervention and control, more bureaucracy, more international treaties, less power to you, the people, more to them. What a surprise. And more agencies like theirs, staffed with people like them, to fix everything. Now, in their discussion, I'm sure that they covered in depth how the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story before the 2020 US presidential election probably skewed the result in Biden's favour. And I'm sure they discussed in depth how conservative federal politicians in Australia like Craig Kelly and George Christensen and Malcolm Roberts had their Facebook accounts censored during COVID. And I'm sure they covered deeply how the suppression of anti-lockdown sentiment during COVID resulted in what is now universally agreed was terrible and wrong government policy and overreach. I bet they covered all of that. And most of all, I'm sure they discussed the importance of protecting public privacy and civil liberties from intrusions by the digital deep state and global organisations like the UN. I look forward to a press release from them about all of those things so I can report back to you next week on it. Happy to have anyone from Griffith University on the show to discuss. If you have a Netflix or other streaming media account from a global company and you're on holidays and log in from another country, you may have noticed that shows that are available in those other countries are different. That's because different media companies have different deals with different streaming services in different countries. Imagine being able to log into Netflix, though, as if you were in America, or maybe a country that speaks a language other than English that you speak, to access more shows, but you can do it all without leaving your couch here in Australia. Well, there is a way. Private Internet Access VPN is a virtual private network. You download their app onto your phone, your TV, your computer, whatever you use, and it'll route your data through a different server location. Not only can you access more content, but a VPN keeps you safe and secure and your family safe so that you can't be tracked by prying eyes of big government and big corporations. And it will not massively slow down your internet speeds or make it harder to use your devices like some other VPNs do. Private Internet Access, PIA VPN. It's quick and easy to install, and once you've downloaded it, that is pretty much it. And the great news is if you sign up for PIA VPN, you are also helping the other side heaps and getting great value for money as well. And you can sign up using our special Other Side code for less than $3 a month. That's a whopping 83% off the normal price, and you'll get the first 4 months free. Just go to piavpn.com/otherside right now to get our special deal. That's piavpn.com/otherside. If you like that clip, there's more where that came from in our full show, The Other Side. You can watch it right here, the latest episode. And please subscribe to our channel by pressing the subscribe button right here or down here. And remember to click that notification bell too. It all helps. Join us and become part of The Other Side.